Welcome to Courtney on Health, heard on malcolmpresents.com, an internet platform with a variety of shows, and one of them, Courtney on Health, who talks about
I'll tell you what she talks about.
yeah,
Because
of course.
again,
The intro
one must do the intro every time.
because we have a multitude of new listeners.
That's right, exactly. So we got to keep them in the loop. So hi, Courtney, and
Hello.
hi, Mal. I know you're wearing your red shirts today because it's Valentine's
Day.
And so welcome to Courtney on Health, a Zoomcast series about how to get through these lingering, you got hearts and everything, and flowers, COVID times, with tips on nutrition and exercise given by Courtney Gravenese, registered dietitian. She's got a master's of science degree in nutrition and applied physiology, which is great because I certainly don't. That's why we leave the health to you. Courtney is an experienced nutritional and health consultant in the New York metro area and beyond into the stratosphere, and will help guide you on a path to wellness and health. So the reason why Malcolm and Courtney are wearing red for Valentine's Day, and I told them the only red thing I had was my son's constitutional law book, which we'll keep there. So I figured we start with some quotes because, why not?
You a quote or a poem, Max?
Yeah, I'm gonna do quotes today. I do have a poem should you ever want me to say it later. The best and most beautiful things in this world cannot be seen or even heard, but must be felt with the heart. And that was Helen Keller said that. Love is a canvas furnished by nature and embroidered by imagination. That was Voltaire. We're going in the Wayback Machine. When we love, we always strive to become better than we are. When we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too. And that's Paul Coelho.
It's who?
Paul Coelho. Anyway, all you need is love, but a little chocolate now and then doesn't hurt. And that's Charles M. Schulz. Figures, got Peanuts and Snoopy and the whole gang. So for Valentine's Day, it started at the end of the 5th century. Roman Pope Gelasius officially declared the date of February 14th, St. Valentine's Day. It wasn't until the Middle Ages, though, that the holiday became associated with love and romance, a tradition that first started from the common belief in France and England that birds started their mating season on February 14th. I've seen a ton of birds out there the last 2 days, even in the cold weather.
Yeah.
And what are they doing?
So, because love is in the air, right? But one thing we must do in Valentine's Day and every day is take care of our hearts. And since it's Valentine's Day and it is Heart Health Month, it's a great time to look at the state of your heart. If you buy sweets for your loved ones today, try dark chocolate. Or since Valentine's Day is a Monday today, this year, maybe go meatless. Some great recipes you can have. So according to Dr. Sheila Sani, who's an interventional cardiology fellow at the David Geffen School of Medicine at UCLA, and the UCLA Barbara Streisand's Women's Heart Health Program, making heart-healthy lifestyle choices and taking control of your cardiovascular risk factors can help prevent or slow the progression of heart disease. Everyday decisions are important to cardiovascular health, she added, and Valentine's Day is a good time to give yourself the gift of lifestyle changes that will benefit you through the year. So Courtney is going to give us some important tips to manage diet and exercise to maintain a healthy heart, along with maybe some Valentine's Day food. Give us some stuff. So what say you on this Valentine's Day? And
Let's say, well, happy Valentine's Day. What better day, as you said, to kick off? Well, first of all, as you guys know, you may or may not know, it, in addition to being Valentine's Day today, February is National Healthy Heart Month. So it seems apropos to use Valentine's Day to really drive home the message of how important it is, irrespective of your age, because it's never too early to start, even in kids, of taking care of your heart. You may be aware that it's the #1 killer. So it's, it's serious, but it doesn't have to be ominous or onerous in terms of what you can do to help, small steps to help. I feel like some of our messaging is just too overwhelming for people. So rather than I don't have a lot of props today, I thought we'd have just a little heart to heart. See how that works. You see,
Heart to
like
heart. Wow.
a heart to heart.
Well, heart to heart is good because
A heart to heart is good.
it's as I mentioned the Barbara Streisand Institute in UCLA for women. It's like the #1, you're right, killer in women's health. And I had an episode and I have a stent, so it is really,
Yeah.
I'm going to be listening to you really, really hard today because it's something that I need to take meds. I need to see cardiologists 2-3 times a year. It's no joke. And
Courtney, what exactly is a stent, and why do they do it?
Well, I don't want to step outside of my lane of what I'm not. Obviously, I'm not a medical doctor, but maybe Maxine, since you have one, you can.
A stent. They put in a little stent, which is like a tube, a small tube. So where the artery closed, that opens up the blood flow in the tube, and they put it in, and then your blood flows again
More freely. Yeah.
And they keep, they have to keep an eye on it. I had to have an emergency surgery when I was in California a few years ago, and I thank Dr. Peter Pelican. And then there was
that's a fabulous name, by the way.
He's an amazing guy. I was lucky he was there that day because he's not always there on a weekend. And then this other doctor, Amadeus, I don't know. All I kept hearing was Dr. Pelican, Amadeus, Dr. Pelican. I was like, and I was, obviously drugged up to beyond, whatever. But
Amadeus and Pelican, that's a good combination.
But on this Valentine's Day, I send my love to them and thank them for keeping me on the planet, because that's
I'm sure that
you're
doing, thanks to them, because you're obviously with us still. I'm sure you're being a very good patient, Max, in terms of what you need to do. Hopefully we get people before emergency situations, whether it be, a heart attack or needing a stent or complete block or, heart failure or stroke. So you want to try and get early intervention, like I said, no matter what age you are, to try and reduce your risk of whatever cardiovascular disease might be in the future, whether you're a genetic risk or not. Some people have an extra risk factor because they might have a family member who had a heart attack or a stroke.
Me,
so that
me again.
but I think the better message is, regardless of that, to try and take hold of those things that you can, that are controllable, because obviously we can't control genetics. So we're going to control those other things. What are those things? We know, I think a lot of people know this, but, they know lifestyle change is so important. But as at least I've seen, and I think we hear this a lot, I don't know what to do first, Courtney. There's just too much. What do I tackle first? Do I quit smoking first? What about my exercise? The diet information, I get so confused. So it's really hard to say, what's my first step in the right direction to reduce my overall risk? So I think for many people, it's just take a look down. What do you think would be the easiest thing to tackle first? I will say, from an overall first step for many people, if you are a smoker, one of the best things you can do is to quit smoking, hands down. Even take the weight that might be attached with it. I hear that a lot. I know a lot of people say they're afraid of gaining weight. We know that the benefits of being smoke-free outweigh the risks of the little bit of weight that you may gain. no question. So if you are a smoker, that would be, I think many healthcare providers' recommendation would be start there, try and quit smoking first. But really it comes down to, what do you think you could tackle first? And then break it down into steps. So smoking, we know, is a risk factor. What is your diet like? Do you eat an overall heart healthy diet? Now, we've been doing a lot of these sessions today. I think it's pretty clear that we don't have to have a one diet fits all mentality. You can be somebody who's a vegan and be heart healthy. You can be somebody who's a vegetarian and then you eat meat occasionally and be a heart healthy diet. So it doesn't have to be these extremes. What we know is that it must comprise so many of those foods that have been well studied. When you look at populations of people with the lowest rates of heart disease, diets high in fruits and vegetables, particularly vegetable intake. They eat very few sources of trans fatty acids. And we've spoken at length about what those are. Reducing fried foods, bumping up your legume, bean intake, choosing better cuts of meat so that they're not as fatty. Eat more healthy fat fish, things like salmon, sardines, bluefish, tuna into the diet. So small steps along the way to try and move towards that heart healthy diet. I get a question a lot about, alcohol intake. And I think, I feel like every decade or every several years or so, we hear a different message, at least here in the United States. I think it's safe to say, if you don't drink right now, and obviously you're of legal drinking age, don't, there's no reason to start. But if you do drink, I think the data is pretty clear, and we've done our blue zone, so we know that populations of people can consume alcohol in moderation. Moderation is the key. And what does that mean? Generally about 1 to 2 drinks a day. So some parameters there. Again, if your healthcare provider has told you do not drink for a certain reason, those are the guidelines that you should be following. Maxine, you mentioned your medication, and I think it's really, really important to make sure that if your healthcare provider has given you a medication and a regimen to follow, it's very important to follow that. He or she has the whole picture of what's going on health-wise. So it's really important that you continue with that. If you're having an issue or a problem or a side effect that's making it really hard for you to stay compliant with taking your meds, have a conversation with your healthcare provider. Maybe there's an alternative, but it's super important that you stay the course with your medication. He or she will be the one to decide to lower the dose, change the dose, or completely take you off that medication. Don't make that decision on your own. Super. I get it. Sometimes there's a lot of things going on and it's expensive. Again, another conversation to have with your healthcare provider. I was reading, and back to the, people get confused about the overall messaging, particularly with regard to diet and even exercise. I'm seeing now. I forget off the top of my head the exact percentage, but more people get their nutrition information from the web and from influencers than they do from a dietitian, which I'm not taking personally. It's not like, oh my God, but and I'm not sure that's trend will change, but I think it's important to understand where people are getting their information from. Some of that may be very good and very accurate information based in science. Some of it might be way out there and creating more confusion than being helpful. So I'm hoping this forum really opens up, and we're always saying this, send me an email, go ahead and, direct message me on Instagram, get in touch with me. And I will be happy to answer questions that you have, providing it's not very, very, specific, just to help, like Courtney, I read this, my friend's doing this. What are your thoughts? And I'm always happy to answer those kinds of questions because of that level of uncertainty and misinformation that does exist, particularly when it comes to the information on the web.
Yeah, the web can give you stuff that's not accurate.
Well, Courtney, you know what the hardest is? I mean, I understand I can diet. I can exercise. I can eat the right foods. But how do you stop aggravation? How do you stop getting angry? How do you stop worrying about what's happening in your life? This is
Yeah.
the hardest, and that's what they say. Oh, be peaceful. Don't get excited. How the hell do you do that
It's very hard.
without
Right.
the alcohol and drugs?
Yes. But thanks for bringing that up, Malcolm, because, we talked about smoking, we talked a little bit about nutrition. We'll talk about exercise in a second, but stress management
Mhm.
is really, really hard. So there's no one answer. I think for all of us, blanket answer for all of us, it's finding maybe an entire suite of options that you use to help manage your stress. Now, one of those might be an overlap of exercise, which I will tell you that for many people ends up being a key component of their stress management suite of offerings. Being more mindful in the moment, trying not to multitask as much as possible, shutting down the news when it's really bothersome to you. And for a lot of us, it's really hard. It becomes that rabbit hole, right? You go down there and then you start reading people's posts, and it doesn't make you feel good generally. It makes you feel worse and creates more anxiety. So I don't know, maybe that's something, again, this is very personal, that maybe that's something to tackle.
I have something you can use. Goat yoga.
You told us about the goat yoga. Yes.
It's becoming more popular, and there's a reason for that, because it's cute little goats running up and down on your back while you're doing yoga poses. But not only are you're doing your yoga still, but you're smiling a lot.
Yeah,
And laughing is important, even with everything going down the way it is. And
I'll tell you, years ago, which was very relaxing to me, I dated a Swedish lady. And
that was relaxing to you?
Yes, because she walked on my back.
So, let me tell you something. So
massaging.
Massage therapy, absolutely. So massage therapy, acupuncture. But so remember, depending on where you are, and remember, there's all sorts of people that, listen to our segments. There's certainly all sorts of people that I counsel. So for some folks, that's not an option for them because of either cost or proximity or a whole variety of things. So you try and give people enough of a variety of things that they can try to help manage some of that stress. Some of it may work, some of it may not, but you just keep trying, different things. Some people find journaling and really documenting, writing down, verbalizing what's going on, things that might be bothering them. Positive visualization is usually a technique that's usually in there. Meditation, I know we've spoken about that before. So, and meditation doesn't have to be a very lengthy, time-consuming process. It can be in shorter bouts, throughout the day. And that meditation literally might be, some deep breathing, and then, just controlling your breath and just having a moment to yourself. So you can see there's lots of different things that people can try. If there's something significant that's a stressor in your world that you can change, try to do so. But sometimes, for example, it could be somebody's job. You obviously just can't, many of us can't just say, see ya. You have to find a way to work around that. So stress is a big one. It's a big component of those things that increase inflammation in the body. And I can't say we're moving any further away. We're trying to, as a culture, be more mindful in what we're doing, being more empathetic. You joked about the goats, Maxine, but pet therapy. I mean, you see, there's many, many different things that people can try to try and manage that stress, with sleep being one component of that. And I know we've done a sleep segment, but obviously your stress level will be higher if you're functioning every day sleep deprived. So that has to be a component of it in terms of overall heart health. Exercise. Let's make it more manageable. I feel like we give this very unattainable message in the United States, and we've spoken about this before, right? I mean, not everybody needs to do a kickboxing class or a CrossFit class. Not everybody can, and not everybody has to. Find what you enjoy, and with people that you love being with. And that not only makes you feel good, and like you said, Maxine, makes you smile more and laugh more, but you're more likely to participate in an activity, which is exercise. think about it more as activity rather than a hardcore exercise. I see you out walking the dog all the time.
Yeah, I love my dog, and
Yeah.
and I see you gals, and I'm like, sometimes should I walk, with them? But my dog takes me in different directions. But she's definitely very important in many levels as a stress relief. Love. She's a lovey-dovey. Her middle name is Valentine. Perfect.
Wow.
Today.
Finally.
Yep. Sparkles Valentine, Diva de Quoi. That's her real name. And and she's, I have to take her out. I just walked her this morning. It was like 16 degrees with a wind chill of 7.
Oh my gosh.
And my face was as red as your your shirt. But it's important, you got to grasp what makes you feel comfortable exercising, and I also have a treadmill in the house and a bike. So when it's really crappy, I could go do some time on the bike, but not everyone has that. But still, just walking, just get outside. You gotta be with nature, or yeah.
It is, and I'm totally appreciative of the fact that some people work 2 jobs, some people are working night shift. And so that's why I sort of started with the segment of and then in this case, I think either you can use your phone, you can use a piece of paper. I think it's important to write down those things you think you can tackle first in terms of what's the first goal you want to try and tackle. And for some people, and I want to talk a little bit about sort of the healthy at any size movement, which I think it gets, I understand all the parameters of it, but I think the message, and this is where sort of influencers and what we're seeing on social media isn't getting the message across. It's not saying that, don't worry about what size you are. You can be healthy, as long as your blood pressure's fine and your blood sugar's fine. That's not what healthy at any size means. We know that individuals who have overweight or obesity have, 25% more risk of getting cardiovascular disease. There's no way around that. And that is even if they have controlled blood sugar levels, normal blood pressure, and normal cholesterol levels. So we know it's a risk factor in and of itself. The message that they're really trying to get out is, okay, but it's not the only thing. Don't just hang your hat on, what that scale says. Embrace the whole lifestyle of overall health, with weight being one small component of it, so that it doesn't all have to be just about the weight. And we've talked about this, 7% weight loss, 7 to 10% weight loss in individuals who have obesity or overweight is enough to improve their cardiovascular profile. So that's big, because that means you don't have to be a size 4, you don't have to be skinny mini, but you do need to pull a little bit of weight off in order to reduce your overall risk, reduce inflammation, and those things that we know will put you at greater risk of overall heart disease.
Yeah, but what's interesting is not interesting, but if you eat properly and you do exercise, you don't have to worry about losing weight. You'll lose weight.
Well,
2 components.
Yeah, yes and no, Malcolm. I think for many people, right, but that's a whole, this is, I work with individuals. For some people, that's a lot harder to do. There's so many variables that affect how they're eating, what they're exercising. They have a lot of things maybe working against them. So for example, if it's somebody who's been constantly yo-yo dieting their whole lives, it's working against them. Their metabolic rate is in the toilet. And it's really hard for them to lose that weight. People who are morbidly obese, and I've worked with these individuals before. I don't get it personally, because I've never been morbidly obese, but I get it from an empathy and sensitivity level, because I've worked with these folks before, and I see that they're trying, and I see, but sometimes it's just not enough. So all I'm suggesting is, do what you absolutely can. Take a look at your diet, get that activity in there. A lot of times it really does come down to pulling down total calories from all sources. And if you need to, have a conversation with your healthcare provider. If you've been trying for months or even a year and your weight's not budging and you're doing everything you can and it's just not moving, take a look at some other options. And I'm not, again, this needs to be a conversation with your doctor or healthcare provider. You know, maybe bariatric surgery is going to be an option for you. Maybe there's some type of medication. There's some really new medications that are out there now that might be an option. I'm just saying, maybe use all of these as your tools, because the bottom line is that weight has to come down a bit in order to reduce your risks for heart disease and make it just a better pathway to overall health.
Right. It's
Now, talking about Valentine's Day, how does love fit into your life?
Oh,
yeah.
well, hopefully it reduces stress and doesn't increase stress. If it does, that might be a different topic.
If it does, we're in another program. Okay.
Not just being ethereal. What is love?
No.
Well,
I think it means different things to different people, right? Right. There's different kind of love, a love for your significant other, love for your kids, love for your pets, love for the people around you, love for
I'm
nature.
talking about a couple's love.
well, there's a song called
Sexual love.
the lyric is I'm hooked on a feeling.
Oh my
So-
God. Isn't
right,
that a total
so-
70s song?
It is, but hey, baby, I'm the 70s and 60s. But if you think of the hook of hooked on a feeling, it's a feeling. Like my brothers did a song, The Tokens, Tonight I Fell in Love, and they were writing it in my house, and my mom is in the kitchen, and they were doing the bridge part, which is, oh, what a wonder, the magic spell I'm under, the feeling that I feel. And they couldn't figure out the next line. And my mom is in the kitchen making them food, because that's what she did. She loved it. And she screamed out, they said, the feeling that I feel. And she screamed out, is it really real? Is it really real? And it stayed in the song. Now, normally you'd get a writer's credit because she didn't write the line.
Your mom didn't get credit?
She didn't get credit, although later on when they did perform, and she was there many a time, they would go to the audience, we're going to do our song, and when we get to this line, they put the spotlight on her, and the audience clapped and stood up. So she got her due later on, but no royalty check. So
It reminds me of the story of Rob Reiner's mother, when Harry met Sally.
oh, right. She
in
did
the
the
delicatessen where
I'm having what you're
you
having.
want to have what she had.
That's right, exactly. Yeah, I mean, you know,
What's the difference? Is there a difference between love and lust?
probably in,
I
I
find
think
out,
so.
if someone meets somebody and the next day they're in love, is that truly love or is that lust? Do they have that as birds do it, that mating feeling?
I don't
Well, it's
know.
February 14th. The birds are mating today.
Right.
I think it depends. I
Do
think
birds
it
do birds
depends.
fall in love, or is it just or is it just a physical endorphins that are released?
You're asking a lot of very intense philosophical.
Yeah, this is very
questions right now.
philosophical, moral, ethical. I mean, I don't know. I
You
mean,
don't
you
wanna-
know,
I was just going to talk about my X's and O's cookie here. You're laying down a lot of philosophical stuff.
well, you know, there's a song called Let's Fall in Love, and they have, you know, birds do it, bees do it, you know.
Yeah.
I don't remember, but let's do it, let's fall in love. So yeah, you know, that's in the Wayback Machine too,
Chimpanzees do
but
it.
Yeah.
you know, but still it's a connection, it's a feeling, and the feeling is real. So go to your X's and O's cookies. Let's see what the deal is.
No, they're just cute. I know we were going to talk a little bit about food. I don't have any. I think people got enough going on. Whatever fun food you want to do today. I mean, I know you had mentioned some about eggplant. I mean, you know.
No, I made a joke.
I know you're making
said,
jokes.
Say maybe fun Valentine's Day food. So dark chocolate is good, right?
Dark chocolate, Haagen-Dazs ice cream.
I was
Red-
just going to say, I'm more of a like I like I think I've told you guys, and so many, and I've been this way since I've been a kid. I'm missing the chocolate gene. I really am.
Oh,
Now, that doesn't mean I like more fruit pies. I like cheesecake. I like really good ice cream, but it doesn't have to be chocolate. So but having said that, dark chocolate is fantastic. I think, special treats to make for you and your loved ones today is fun. Make it easy on yourself. Have some fun. These just happen to be some cute cookie. They were just regular cookies. And then you have these little, now don't go crazy. I mean, this is like colored naturally. It's not, red dye number,
whatever, yeah.
So, just have some fun today and do something that makes you feel, loved, whether you're in a relationship or not. You should, love yourself first, and then other stuff can fall into place.
Guys, under that note, we have to do our show.
See, there we go.
Wow. I didn't get to talk about the sexy eggplant. Oh, well.
Next time, we always can talk
Oh,
about
that was
Anyway, Max.
because you know what eggplant emojis are. Never mind. Oops. Okay.
Max, do our finale.
All right. Well,
Before we get in
guys
trouble.
and gals and everyone in love or loving yourself and love one another. Peace out. Peace on earth. Thanks for joining us for Courtney on Health. To get more info, follow Courtney on her Facebook page, which is Courtney on Health, on Instagram at CLG Wellness, and her website, CourtneyGravities.com. For more shows, go to MalcolmPresents.com and theManyShadesOfGreen.com. We're on Spotify and Apple, I think, and all sorts of other things. So listen to the podcast. And this is Courtney on Health. Smart Sound Nutrition. She's got X's and O's there. Strong, safe.
Hugs for everyone.
Hugs for everyone. And we'll catch you next time.
And happy Valentine's Day.
Happy
Happy Valentine's Day.
Bye.
Bye.